Alright, let's continue with using person type attribute. So what is a person type attribute? Basically, person type gets the data type of the referenced column or value and assigns this data type to the declared variable. So why and where to use it? PL/SQL is a programming language for manipulating some data that's stored in a database and then save it in there. So you need to use the same data types with the same precisions and skills. For example, if you are calculating the salaries in your company and your company keeps the salary in the table as number 8, 2, for example. So in PL/SQL, while you are calculating it, you need to have a variable exactly the same data type and precision to avoid database error when you are inserting. So you created your procedure that calculates salaries with number 8 and 2, no problem in here. But suddenly, a person is hired with a great salary. So you need to increase the salary column precision. The problem starts right in here. In every change of your database column data type or precision, you need to update all your variables in all procedures. If not, they may crash, and if it crashes, the salaries cannot be calculated. It won't be good for a programmer. You have to update them all quickly, but you may not remember how many times or where did you use them. To sum up, this is a risky and error-prone thing to hard code the data type of a variable that cooperates with a database column. Right at that time, person type attribute is our superhero. You can assign your variable based on the type of the other variable or a database column. This is like a pointer. The data type is referenced to the other value or column. So if the data type or precision of these variable or column changes, your data type is automatically synchronizes itself with that type. So if you are working with a database column, I strongly recommend you to use person type attribute if you don't have any special reason. So how do we use it? We write the variable name, then the table dot column name and person type. Or if you want to synchronize with a variable, we simply write another variable's name and person type keyword. So let's make an example for that and see how it works. Let's open up SQL Developer. First, let's look at the data types of our employees table. Our job ID column is varchar2 10 and it is a not null variable. Now keep that in mind. Now let's write our declare, then our variable name vtype employees dot job ID person type. Then our begin keyword. Now, to understand if this works, let's test this variable with assigning a different value. Let's start with ITPro, for example. vtype is equal to IT and prog. Let's print it. dbms output dot put line and vtype. And end keyword. Let's now run it. If it worked without an error, that means we did everything right. When we run it, we saw that everything is fine. The anonymous block completed without an error. So now let's assign administrator and run it again. Now we have an error. Character string buffer too small. We know that in our table, let's look at it in here again. Job ID column has varchar2 10 data type. We exceeded that number with administrator text and got an error. Now let's go to the declaration area and write vtype2. vtype 2, and let's assign with vtype's data type, vtype person type. I'm changing the administrator with IT Pro again, and assign vtype 2 with as Ayman, for example. Now let's copy paste our DBMS output and change vtype with vtype 2. Let's run it now. Great, no problem. There is the last thing I need to tell you. Person type gets only the data type. That means if the column is a not null column, you can assign this variable a null value anyway. Let's example it. I'm copying vtype and changing with vtype 3 now. Let's assign a null value for vtype 3. Let's copy paste our DBMS output and concatenate with hello to understand if output is null. Now we can run it. Everything is fine. Just be careful that even if your column is a not null column, your variable that you created with person type can be assigned to null. If you don't want that to be null, you have to handle it with another way. So this is a simple and a very useful subject. And this is the end of person type operator lesson. See you in our next lessons.